What's up, everybody? Back again. Warp Charge Gaming. I'm George. I got James with me. We are here to give you a Thursday night talk show. We do it. This is episode 12, which it feels like, if we've done it every week, that's only like, what? I guess that's 3 months. I think we missed one in exchange of a live bat rep instead. I like consistency, James?
Yeah. We try to keep it consistent around here.
Right, you know what I'm saying? I forgot to put my headphones on. Hopefully there's not too much echo out there. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing okay. We are excited to talk about things. There's more stuff that's been coming down the pipeline from GW. They got quite a bit of action happening right now. We got the pending codexes that people are anxious to see. A little bit of maybe a visual of some new models got shown when they were showcasing some videos this past week. I think there was mention of seeing an orc model, an orc with a giant arm maybe, but
I have not seen this.
Yeah, I forget what video it was that they were I think they were showing kill teams off, and maybe that's probably where the new model came from, is literally the kill team models, because that was just today we saw that from the community page, and I'm stoked about kill teams. But apparently, kind of like Shadespire, there's like faction expansions that you buy, and they have new models in each one.
I saw that Space Wolves had a box.
Yeah, which I saw on the Space Wolf Facebook. Somebody's like, "I'm weirded out, man. There's like no, they're way too clean shaven." They didn't have any like beards, but somebody mentioned like their Primaris Marines as well. They're way too clean shaven.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, that's something. I'm definitely curious about. I think in the Kill Team video, they did show a Thunderwolf Cav. I'm interested to see what scale you're able to take your warbands in that game. I was mentioning in our thread today, talking about, will you reach like a Demon Prince level? Can you bring a Demon Prince in that game? You're only going to be able to take so much from a particular faction, and they're gonna dictate that, maybe expanding as things go on.
Yeah, I remember I couldn't bring a Juggalord at last edition, and that was kind of my go-to. And he was less than a Demon Prince before. I think the biggest vehicle you could take in 7th edition Kill Team was like a Rhino.
Yeah. I would be happy to have some sort of vehicle presence in there, but I was surprised. I mean, like, I thought it was gonna be Necromunda size battlefield with a 4x4, but it's actually a 22 by 30 inch. They're advertising that I could use one of my, they have the Forgotten Realms, I think they're called. They're sectorized Games Workshop boards that you can buy.
Yeah,
those are just 24 by 24s, and they're like, you can just totally use that as your game mat, which that's a small battlefield. And I'm wondering if when you play multiple people, if you add on a bigger, does the board expand? In Shadespire, it grows when you do such a thing.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I'm excited.
This sounds like another game I won't play.
Well, at least, hey, you'll have models that could play.
I played Kill Team once. I was supposed to be at like a tournament, ended up being like a practice tournament, and I just remember bikes being really well. That's about all I remember.
Yeah. Well, they definitely rep that they worked it from the ground up, and that it's, they put a lot of focus into the balance and things. And I mean, if some of the newer, like if Shadespire is any sort of tell, then I think it's really going to be awesome, because I mean, I think they did a great job with that game, and apparently they're doing a lot of similar focus when it comes to balance and warbands and things of that nature. But I don't think they don't have cards. They have stratagems like 40k. I remember reading there's going to be command points, and like there's universal ones when you get the core book. I believe it was like 12 that they show you, and I'm just going from memory from earlier today, but I think they give you 12 in the core book per faction, and there's like 6 unique ones in the individual expansions. So it's just going to be a few rules and like a bunch of like faction specific swag in each one, but otherwise you really won't necessarily have to buy the expansions if you already have the models.
Yeah,
I'm stoked on it, dude. Stoked.
I'm glad you are, man. I really am.
It's gonna be really cool. Definitely opens up some opportunities for narrative and campaigns, and I was mentioning, man, there's this is something I was talking to, which I haven't seen in a long while. War Magic, but War Magic's been a busy dude, I guess. But War Magic and I were talking about creating some campaigns specifically based on the different maps that we've found in Tabletop Simulator. Because there is some really sick, like super thick and interactive, and a lot of physics, like fire and explosions and waterfalls and stuff, rain and night. They have a lot of cool atmospheres in Tabletop Simulator that would be cool to intermix with real life, and some maps that don't really play well for a real 40k game, but would do excellent in a skirmish. So that sounds fun as well.
Interesting.
Yeah.
One thing I could always get behind is someone, if they ever wanted to play like a crazy 40k universe game where you start off with Epic or like New Titanica.
Yeah.
And then you go from that to like an APOC game. So like you play a big APOC game, and then you play a standard 40k game.
Yes.
And then you go into Kill Team.
Yes.
And like make a campaign that way. That's so sexy. Like any nerd can hop on that.
Totally. That's my dream too, man. I would love to do Battlefleet Gothic and get that kind of thing happening.
Yeah, what's your thought on Battlefield Gothic and New Titanica by Forge World?
I haven't looked into Titanicus too much, but Battlefleet Gothic also haven't really dissected the rules a little bit. I've tried to play some like knockoff iOS games on the iPad or whatever, but I definitely have always fantasized about it. Like when I see the eBay lots and whatnot, I'm always like, I want that shit.
It's basically like playing like Battleship.
Yeah, or I get there's a little bit of jelly like when you see the X-wing and like the other like dogfight style battles, air battles or space battles. I like the idea of having that incorporated, and I feel like it's a part of the kind of the battlescape that I haven't got to explore very much.
So George, were you a fan of Death from the Skies when that came out?
No, I was not. No, I don't think many people were. I actually saw like the box set at Dragonfire Games. And I was like, oh, interesting. Like they're still trying to push the idea of everybody having a bunch of planes and fighting in the air, but yeah, it don't go down very much. But I do like there's some campaigns back in the day when we had the campaign books, and one of my favorite things about campaigns were when they had special army compositions where you had to bring like all vehicles. I thought that was fun as hell. Like I like a whole bunch of Eldar vehicles against Tau vehicles, or things of that nature. You can only bring monstrous creatures, or that kind of stuff's fun.
I'd be about that. I enjoy a good monstrous creature.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I'm stoked on the idea of kill teams. I'm stoked on the idea of big campaigns, Battlefield Gothic. That'd be kind of a new place to explore in general, and I'm seeking inspiration with 40k. Oh, I like your that's a big ass bike, dude. The hell is that?
It's gonna be a Farseer on this thing.
Is that like that? Does not look like the standard size bike.
It's pretty standard to me.
Why does it look so huge? Is it
maybe because of perspective?
Okay. Cool. It looks huge.
That's what she said.
Wow. Great timing, my friend, as always. The illustrious James Schaff. Interesting. Yeah. Is that Bill-Tan color scheme?
I think it's Altok.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I think Bill-Tan's green, man.
I think you're correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking Ali.
This is for our buddy Ali, and I think he's planning on bringing to the doubles.
Okay. Excellent.
Oh.
Excellent.
Be prepared to see some Farseers, because there is a second one. Oh.
Nice. I actually have, dude, I have a sweet, one of my favorite models that I'll never get rid of. James Sheets did me a custom Farseer on a bike because back in the day, the model didn't exist, and you had to customize it, right? So let me see if I can show the camera this thing. Check this business. Let me switch over to the stream view here so I can see it real time. Check this out. So like, I forget. This is like I think this is a Dark Eldar like Reaver bike, and it's a like it's a metal
Excuse me.
a metal farseer like made into a riding position who used to be actually not doing that. And then like he has his spear and gun like on top of the like mounted to the bike, which is super sick. Colors are rad. But yeah, you can't buy that. And I think this is a like a second edition Dark Reaver too. Like it's a super old one. So I was really proud of him. Even though I didn't paint him. Yeah. And there's like a sick like lightning on his right there on his piece there. I don't know how much you can see, but yeah, I enjoy this model. Doesn't get to get fielded too much on my end though. My Eldar days are pretty limited ever
since Thurday died.
Thurday and then I played a lot of Wraith and I played a lot of Ynnari. But even before Ynnari, I just played Wraith Guard and Wraith Lords and Wraith Knights, which I could play for fun still. But I liked my favorite thing about my Eldar list would always be that there was literally there was only like 2 living souls as far as the fluff or the lore goes. My whole army would be Wraith Guard or Wraith Bone, so they're like animated undead ancestors of the Eldar. While there only be like a couple of spirit seers that would be basically kind of commanding the spirits in living inside this armor. I always thought that was tight.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard you ever heard how they like the Wraith Lords and Wraith Knights are operated, James?
Isn't it the souls of the ancestors?
Yeah. The Wraith Knights are particularly cool because it's when there's twins. It's so big that like whenever there's twins born inside of the Eldar race, they're like psychically connected and like know each other's thoughts and where they're at and whatnot. And when a twin dies, it's almost like rips their soul apart where they like just want to die, the other half. And instead one is living and one is the dead twin operating the bone construct, while the other guy's like the living one's operating the weapons, and they like psychically bond to operate the Wraith Knight.
Wow, that's pretty wild. Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They're all connected and whatnot.
Yeah.
If you died, I'd ride a Wraith Knight with you, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't think I have pointy ears, man. Like, they're pretty rounded. I think I'd go the wear out mate while I'm at war.
So we just have like a looted Wraith Knight instead and would pretend.
Yeah, now that'd be perfect.
Okay. I'm down with that.
A looted Wraith Knight that's blessed by corn. That sounds perfect.
Yeah, dude. I always felt very natural mixing corn and orcs together.
Dude, I feel natural mixing corn with everything. Like, even Slanesh, like, they're supposed to hate each other, but at the same time, it's all love.
I hear that. I think that's what's next on the horizon. I'm figuring that, like, Games Workshop's going to be all fluffy, and they're going to make the Space Wolves come out in the winter. I've heard November as the rumor, which is well after Nova.
No.
Dude, I think they're going to screw me, man. They're going to put Space Wolves after Nova, dude. I'm praying on it.
Orcs are going to be the first out the gate as soon as they start releasing codexes and they're done with this Age of Sigmar nonsense.
Apparently, it's Orcs and Gene Stealers is the vibes, but I think that people have been getting...
I do not see Gene Stealers. I think that was a true accident, them leaking that model.
My question is that model Kill Team's model? Because, people thought they were seeing codex rumor or like hints with new models, but those new models, there's a whole new line coming with the Kill Teams, and they might have just
I could see that too. Yeah. I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Because they said Orcs and Space Wolves, so I don't think they're going to throw Gene Stealers into that.
I don't either. I thought that was coming. I just keep
It's just when is these two codexes actually going to drop?
Right.
Like,
and now the Kill Teams
look in retrospect, we were both there at AdeptCon in that preview show.
Yep.
We watched them release those 3 codexes, and then we saw those 3 codexes come up.
Yep.
So based off of previous history, how far out do you think Wolves and Orcs are going to drop before Gene Stealers?
Yeah, I mean, I would say at least a month to 2 month gap in between. They need to get it out by Nova, dog.
They really do, for your sake.
I know. What I'll end up doing if they don't is I'll play Orcs in the trios and Space Wolves in the championship.
That sounds solid.
Yeah. The trios is man. It was crazy. Remember the picture I sent last year of going against like all the that all flyers list? I wish I had the picture ready to show. The blood. It was like, it was. I think it was Blood Angels in there too, but it was like just all flyers: Storm Ravens, Storm Talons, and the big ass bird.
The Fire Raptor.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta find that picture. Maybe while we're sitting here chilling, I'll be able to find it. I think it's on our Warp Charge Gaming Facebook. But yeah, Nova, man, I'm getting pumped on that. I think it's less than 60 days.
Yeah.
They even talked about on the latest newsletter that Kill Teams is going to be like showcased by GW. So I'm sure they're going to have like some sick representation just to like feature it and whatnot, you know?
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing the guy that I saw, that the creator of Shadespire. I forget his name, but he was at. He showed me how to. He gave me my first introduction to the game at Adepticon because I was like, "Yo, where the hell is Shadespire? I'm trying to like learn this shit." And he's like, "I was like, you're the creator, so." And he's like, "Just come on over here." Yeah, nice. Look at that. Stoked.
Orcs.
I've been practicing. I got my deck made and been trying them out. They've been doing just fine.
Do they beat your tournament winning deck?
Without like proxies or the same cards, I can't necessarily fight the same deck because I'm using the cards that was in the tournament winning deck in them.
Well, you should proxy battle yourself.
Yeah, the curiosity there's the deck builders online actually do that too. They'll give you simulated draws, which is great. So I could totally do that. Yeah. It's interesting because it's about a movement difference. There's 4 models versus 5 when you're talking Blood Reavers versus Orcs, and then there's the Orcs have 4 toughness apiece, but or 4 wounds apiece, but the Blood Reavers, they have a movement of 4 apiece. So versus 3, and when they're inspired, they're 5. So they're a little bit faster. I haven't been able to tell yet. There's not enough practice to be able to tell if the Orcs are hindered by their lower movement. It's a different play style that you have.
That's what I'm saying. Does your deck actually still work, or do you have to change the style of your deck?
Nah, deck still works because the cards. I mean, there's so much of my army deck that's built out of the universal cards that I think they're just the most fundamental killy cards to use, and some of them the best defensive cards. I just personally, and I continue to share my tournament winning video like on the Shadespire. Damn, those guys are on there, dude. It's awesome. But I think that the cards and the tournament video that I put up are universally applicable for sure. I'm just digging through our photos here, seeing if I can find that first trios match we went against in Nova.
Speaking of trios, Nova.
Yeah.
Did we decide something earlier?
Yeah. Might as well throw that out there. Oh, there we go. There's David. Are you playing in the 40k GT at Nova? What's up, David? Hadn't seen you comment before, man. Yeah, definitely. Gonna be doing the 40k GT as well as the trios, and that last year was actually the first time I went to Nova, and really Nova was a big like kick me in the ass to do Warp Charge Gaming, dude. Like that event changed my life, and so I'm super passionate about the event and the environment, and it really made me go head over heels all in to saying that I want to make gaming a core part of what I do for a living. You know, just like, because I believe that you're happiest when you do what you love for a living, you know? I used to run a music store. For the last 10 years, I was in music retail. Last 4 years running as store manager of Guitar Center. And, you know, that was my job for like 10 years, man. Like I started out at like 20 years old with that shit. And now I'm like, you know, I don't know, 32. But I put that thing to I put it to the curb for Warp Charge Gaming and for pursuing this life. And Nova was a big part of that. So I couldn't be more excited. And honestly, my only regret is that there's like so many games I want to play and I can't play them all. Like, dude, I totally want to play Shadespire there. I totally want to play some Kill Teams. Now, the cool thing is that we totally got a hotel there, and I think that it's extremely more inexpensive than Adepticon, by the way, for those out there watching. Because the hotel is like hella cheaper. It's I think a lot of reasons, you know, to be honest, is there's a fundamental core built around charity. And so they do a lot to make it affordable and boost charitable numbers as much as possible. So like there's like drink specials, room specials. The rooms are dirt cheap for what that hotel usually cost. I think we're like $450 for Wednesday through Sunday. You know, with you're talking like 4 people, 5 people, you're like $100 a head under. Top floor is amazing. Yeah, David. Dude, we got to totally say what's up and cheers some drinks, man. I met some great friends there. And, dude, the party atmosphere of Nova was a step above. Now, I didn't stay at the hotel at Adepticon. I went to Adepticon. James lives out in that area. And we came out for the first time, Chris and I, this year. You can see some Adepticon videos. Actually, our first time trying to make content at a major event. I suggest the Space Wolves video. Party with the Space Wolves at Adepticon. That one's real fun. But that was, you know, we didn't get to stay at the hotel, and I think that's a part of it. But, dude, like the drinks at Adepticon, the way that you have to wait in line, the overall, like, just kind of layout of the building is not the same as Nova. Now, granted, I will say that there's like 20-some floors at Nova, and like we were on the 18th floor, and I had this crazy vertigo that I experienced after the end of it all because I was going up and down a fucking elevator so much, getting drunk as hell. I was also wearing a weird random shoe I found on the ground outside, but
yeah, that's what gave you vertigo, man.
Yeah, I think that's what did it. But yeah, dude, it was totally cool. Like, so like one of the rooms, they like open up one of the suites as the charitable bar. And like you're up there drinking with Frankie and Reese from Frontline Gaming. You got the Games Workshop designers cruising through. You know, there's all these like heads that you see on the internet, which, you know, I'm getting a little starstruck, and maybe I put more weight into that than other people. But I found it really inspiring and cool to see these people I've watched and some idolized with, and got to be in the same spaces and kind of living in the same world. You know, you feel like you're at kind of the fingers on the pulse kind of thing when you're in those environments, these majors. You know, I know you know what I'm talking about, James, but I think Nova's special for sure when it comes to that. And that's why I can't say one's better than the other because they're different, but it certainly has some aspects that are unique and special that I'm excited for. Like I remember, like I think it was Wednesday night, we watched the preview event, and then like I had brought a bunch of APOC stuff for Glowocalypse. And like Chris and I played an APOC game with Dave from Mini Wargaming. Like he's like coming by. Yeah, he tried to buy my models. Which I thought was funny. He's like, "Yo, what you want to sell that Angrath?" It's like, step off, Dave. But that shit's fun, man. Do you ever check out Mini Wargaming very much, man, James?
Not a whole lot. I see some of the like other build things, like they're building that epic table. I think it's pretty cool to follow.
Man, it is such a mind-blowing trip, and they're a big part of what again has inspired my intentions of Warp Charge Gaming. You know, more so than the Long War, Frontline Gaming, or some of the other channels out there. Like I really appreciate what they do. Not so much like I'm not all about the same focus on the narrative, even though we're kind of branching out to that because we definitely love the competitive side as well here, but particularly just like the fact that people from all over the world are traveling to see them, and that they have multiple studios that are themed out, and you know, a staff of people that are making a living doing 40k entertainment. I don't necessarily want to follow the same Volt concept, even though it seems to be highly successful. there's just, we're looking at a lot of what folks do out there. But what's really amazing and blowing my mind now is they've been working on this bunker concept. You're familiar with the bunker?
Yeah, those are the videos I follow. That's
God.
super sweet.
My God, dude. They literally have a building that has a tournament hall in it. They're making a 40K hotel that can host like 20 to 30 people staying the night in this place that's attached to a game store at the bottom of the place. It's huge. With all these, the whole place is immersed into the theme. Like you're transported into a world when you go there, and you never have to leave. It's amazing. They're just like, their creativity and art is going crazy. Like I was seeing the latest one, and they had all this 3D printed art for their studio walls. So like the bolts, they had this Imperium studio, and to make it seem like bigger, like more industrial, they had these like huge 3D printed bolts on everything to make the metal look more massive. All these 3D printed skulls everywhere. I was just like, damn, dude, what I wouldn't dream to be at that level. But I'm happy for even just a small piece, James, just a piece of the pie.
Yeah, I want to 3D print some stuff.
I know, right?
I want to make cool rooms.
I know, all the things, but it's
all those things cost monies.
Yeah, they do. It's a huge capita. I mean, for the love of God, I just want to hit to 1,000 subscribers right now. Small baby steps. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Which we're at a nice number. As far as our humble numbers here, we jumped up to like 770. We're getting close to the 800 mark. Woo!
Yeah.
Hercules.
Doing things.
Yeah, doing stuff. Hopefully that gives a good shout out to the fan giveaway. We're not only just asking that you enjoy this free entertainment, but we also give you stuff to help us grow. Every month, all year long, we've been providing free painted models that are beautiful. We do the shipping and everything. We go international. We've gotten to Brazil, the UK, Australia. Someone locally won last time, and now we got, hopefully for the upcoming Space Wolf Codex, Niall Stormcaller, painted by the illustrious James Schaff here. This will be shortly coming out right after our next event. Our events are another big way you can definitely help Warp Charge Gaming grow, is by participating, And if anybody out there locally is around, we'd had a badass time at our last Warp Charge Gaming event, Battle in the Warp. This is Battle in the Warp continues with a doubles event here at Gallery 5 in Richmond, Virginia. I've been working all day today on editing the footage from that, and going to try to just put out a nice little summary, if you will. I sent actually the STC our scores as well. The STC is the Southeast Tournament Circuit.
Man, but not only did they get those points, but they also got ITC points for one event.
Yeah. And I will say, just to pat my own back, I care. I was swift as a bunny at getting those tournament scores submitted. I pretty much immediately got those ITC scores over. I had my tokens ready. We're taking it seriously, y'all. Get some points. I actually emailed them about my conundrum with how you score individuals in a team event. It's something we talked about previously on our live shows too, James, about kind of some weird things coming up that way. What I think I've answered my own question because they haven't got back to me, but like, you submit your final scores after the tournament's over. You put in your token into the Best Coast Pairing app, finalizing these scores, but you still must manually submit them. And at that point, you can then individualize the players, because when they sign up pre-registering, just one person is buying the submission, and one person is registered. But whenever I submit the scores, I can individualize people. I can put their individual factions, and their win-loss record is going to be the fundamental part that counts in the overall rankings, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So easy enough. They'll just share the same win-loss record, which makes sense. Even though a little funky when, you're Chaos and Tau, and all of a sudden you jump a bunch of ranks as a Chaos player when you won the whole event, kind of thing, or something,
Yeah.
Speaking more about that event and so we're talking about the August 12th, Warp Charge Gaming doubles here. We were deciding today, we're getting ready to finalize making the mission packet. James is going to crank that out over the next week. By about August 12th, we'll have it presented. But we decided to prepare for Nova. We're actually going to go ahead and follow the Nova Trios packet with some, some minor, cutting away some of the bloat when it comes to hobby scoring and sportsmanship and whatnot. We're going to keep it just real fundamental with the missions themselves and the army construction. And basically give people an opportunity to be thinking and building their armies around the way the Nova missions are entailed. This one is easy for us, and two, I would enjoy it because I know that I want to be deeply entrenched in the rule set, and I need to be training for Nova as well. So this gives me kind of a double dip here, as I am well acquainted for TOing the event and for playing when I go to Nova. So
Yep.
I think that'll be a good thing for folks.
Yeah, what's really sweet is we'll also have an individual prize, even though event.
Yeah.
Can go away as the War Master.
Yeah, I like that part. That's one of the, we're definitely not afraid to we don't want to reinvent the wheel when there's already a great system in play. And that's one of the things I like about the Nova's Trio mission is that individually within your teams, you can still be competing as a one-on-one basis to try to get the best War Master, and it's based on things that you achieve with your Warlord. And there's I think there's 10 different things that you can do where, if your Warlord has 0 wounds lost at the end of the game, you get a point. If you kill the Warlord with your Warlord, get a point. If you kill a unit with your Warlord, you get a point. If you hold an objective with your Warlord, you get a point. It's 10 different ways you can get a point that you will score individually, which we definitely will want in the packet in a check marky type way. Each player should be able to check their War Master chart for each battle, James.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the person with the most successes with their Warlord will be able to get the War Master prize. So there's a Warlord for each player, 1,000 points per player, 2 detachments apiece. And they'll each have, their own relics, their own Warlords. Their command points will be a single pool that they'll join together and can use together with only 3 additional command points awarded for being battle forged. And each player, they could in their army construction be like, yo, I know we're bros and I know we're trying to win, but I'm taking this guy as my Warlord because I'm going to try to get that no matter what,
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. Dude, why are you bringing Magnus, bro? And you're like, because I'm going to go in there and wreck face for War Master. I don't care if we lose.
So Magnus is going to go down in wounds every game.
Yeah, no doubt. But he might get some hella kills, too. So, I don't know. It's good times. I remember in the Trios event trying to get a lot of those War Master things racked up. And it has a little bit of that Adepticon style where, we're talking about a lot of those Planet Chaos guys will focus their entire team about winning one of the secondary prizes like most First Bloods, most Last Strikes, most Warlords.
Yeah, and they're actually going down to ATC this year.
Yeah, that's coming right around the corner, yeah?
Right around the corner.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of, I think the internet will be a little ablaze for a few weeks when the results come out for that.
Oh, especially with all the night heat.
Yeah. And, I think is this the first major after the FAQ drop?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So
as far as I know, it's in the States.
Yeah, I mean, there's
there's a Louisville Slugger that just happened.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of littler ones, but I wouldn't say major.
Yeah, major to me now is a couple 100+ people,
Yeah, there's a lot more than that at ATC.
For sure. I mean, that's one of the big boys.
Yeah, I think it's 52 teams of 5.
Dang. Dude, I really want to find that old Trios picture. See if I keep digging around here while we're talking. The first match we went against was crazy. Me, Lobo, and David were in the Trios match in Nova last year, and we were the wild card, dude. We were just armies that were going to wreck people because of the weird way that they were constructed. We were causing to lose by or score or win with very low points, and kind of messed up their placings of how they naturally probably would have fell in had they not gone against us. It was funny. We were definitely wild cards. I enjoyed it. I'll never find this.
He shall never find it.
Let's see, David, 74 Smite list. You beat my team captain. David, we played together? David, let's see. You beat my team captain. I was playing the Smite list indeed. Were you guys, you're not hammered. We played Mike and his team, and there was a lot of those dudes were out of Colorado. Oh, there's 74 teams at ATC. Got you. We were Warhammered.
Oh, it's 74. Wow.
Yeah, this is Warhammered with Jessica Bowman and all that, right? Yeah, we totally follow Warhammered, man. You guys are like frenemies, bro. Because one of our friends is a hardcore Necron player, so we're constantly watching Jessica to where she ranks and like, damn you, Jessica, and she runs pylon, and so does my bud. So that's totally cool, man. Thanks for tuning in, David. Yeah. I even threw your team captain some dice as well. I was gonna say the dude in the tank top, but you guys often are always rocking the tank top. So big love for
power.
Yeah. Sometimes the big bright colors too. I think I've seen pink in there a few times. Very cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I love Warhammered. And I'm sure we'll see a Nova. It was weird too because I ended up playing we crossed paths several times at Nova because we played in the trios, and then I ended up playing the other Zinch gentleman of Warhammered in the final day on Sunday in the championships. Which that's another interesting comparison. Yeah, okay, David, got you. Okay, yeah, so you were the Zinch player, right? Got it. Yep. David and I played. Okay, cool. That's awesome. The internet is wild. Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's another interesting thing about Nova is the long way. The like at Adepticon, you win or lose. You decide whether you're going to go into the next day of gaming based on whether you get into the top 8, right?
16.
Top 16.
Top 16.
Yeah. So out of the hundreds of people that are playing in the championships on Thursday, you either get to the top 16 or you're done. While at Nova, you're like, it's almost like attrition. Like you will score higher if you just survive to play through Sunday. It's a lot of games. 3, 6, 9 game tournament, or if not 8.
Yeah, it's a lot of games.
Yeah, which I enjoyed though because it was kind of weird, like the way that Adepticon sold out so fast on the other games to play throughout the weekend, if you didn't happen to get into one of those and you didn't get to top 16, then like you could drive all the way across the country for a championship, play Thursday, and then like, you're out of events to dive into because they sold out.
Well, out of events until Saturday, Sunday for the 4-mans.
Well, that's what I mean. Those sold out. But I mean, we had several instances of being on the wait list and got into every one of them. It just takes effort when you're there, kind of thing.
Yeah, I definitely feel that I'm going to be taking a day to have a break on that Friday.
Yeah. This past one, you did 3 different events, right? You did the doubles, the 4-man, and the championship. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a lot, dude.
That was a lot.
Yeah. I
felt it by the end.
Right. I was telling somebody the other day about it was like that was our first time trying to capture footage and like being creative on like how to make content at a con like that. And dude, like it was always crazy because we had about an hour to drive back to James's house, and we'd always be like pretty wasted, tired, but I would have to spend like 2 to 4 hours getting all the content off the cameras and into the computer. I'd always have to get to like a stopping point where I could like let it continue to download overnight and walk away with clean cameras for the next day. But like the maintenance of collecting content and dumping it and then resetting for the next day was pretty intense, dude. I was like mad cameraman that weekend.
Yeah. I kept you company though.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
While everyone else passed out, I kept you
Yeah.
company.
It'd be like we to get home and like literally their head would hit the chair and just they're gone, dude. Just be me and James just talking. It was intense though. Good times, fun times.
Yeah.
I definitely like, man, like we could have really killed that top table footage with Nick and Matt had we had that connector piece that we lost to go on the tripod. Like the shaky cam killed that. It could have been way better.
Well, it wasn't just the shaky cam. It was Chris being really drunk and like drifting the camera away from the table. Like it was a whole different standard.
Right.
But hey, we still capture the footage. If you guys want to see top table at Adepticon, you got it.
I would love to have the GoPro over top the whole time as well, versus just partially too. Been able to have a little bit more real time. Like they kind of blocked it off. It was tough to get up in there. I look forward to the day that hopefully, like with our willingness and hell, we're there already. Like they see, I want the event organizers to see Warp Charge Gaming and be like, "Yo, you want a little space so you can film this shit? Yes, please. Scoot over." Why not?
We enjoy filming the live content.
Yeah, man. I definitely get in practice with our own events here in Richmond. It was definitely, I'm getting used to breaking down and setting up the rig.
We just got to remember to tell people to keep their mics on.
Yeah, no doubt. I look forward to trying to film an APOC game potentially this upcoming Wednesday. We're going to go to Battlegrounds, our good friends and sponsors. Show the old sponsor sheet here. Battlegrounds, Crystal Fortress, Game Mat EU, and Death Ray Designs. Battlegrounds, our local store. This past week, which often that's what we're doing is updating what we just did. I just put out a Battlegrounds collaboration video. We work with this local gaming store. They're fantastic. It's a great place to game. They got tons of tables set up all the time. But I have gone and scoped out their used inventory. They have a boatload of used anything you're really kind of looking at Infinity, War Hordes, War Machine, whatever. But particularly 40k and Age of Sigmar. They have bins and bins and bins of models from painted to unpainted to on the sprues. And they have sick prices on this used stuff. And I have a little bit of negotiation power for package deals. And in order to, they're helping us by giving us backing for our tournaments and giving us some personal supply to keep the channel growing with what's outcoming, like kill teams and things of that nature. And we will help you get what you're looking for at a great deal if you just send us an email at admin@warpchargegaming.com with a wish list. I will go there and go hunting for you for what you're looking for, send you pictures, give you prices, whatever. I want to do some free labor to get you hooked up with sweet models that you're looking for. To help middleman some deals for Battlegrounds, give back to them, and kind of keep that value going between us with that relationship. So I'd love for someone to hit us up. So far, I haven't gotten any outreach yet besides some friends. But yeah, I mean, dude, bins and bins and bins and bins and bins of stuff. Lots of corn as well.
Corn.
Poor corn.
Too bad it's not good right now.
I know. They're pretty solid in Age of Sigmar, though. Gotta
Who plays
say.
that game? Come on.
I like it. Yeah, gotta get my study back on. I got real deep into that for a moment and then got super busy over these last couple of weeks. I got a festival coming up. This is gonna be like the 9th time I've went to this event. It's a regional burn. If you're familiar with Burning Man, it's kind of follows the same principles and is sanctioned under that overall umbrella as following those ideals, like a leave no trace, decommodification, there's no vendors, radical self-inclusion, all this kind of thing. Hippie stuff.
Hippie stuff.
Yeah, it's great, though. There's, a few thousand people go out to the woods. In this case, it's going to be the mountains of West Virginia. There's some of my favorite shows to play each year. If you didn't know, I'm a DJ producer. A lot of the music in our battle reports and videos are my original content, along with friends that I jam with locally here. And so I got some sick sets to play. I'm preparing that. That's what I'll be doing when I get off of here. And I've been working with my client that what I do to kind of bring in the income right now is I'm mixing and being an engineer on this rock album. And we're taking the polished productions we've came up with and creating a one-man band show where I'll be his sound tech running backing tracks of drums and bass while he plays guitars and vocals live. So I've been preparing that all week. We've been having some practice sessions here in the studio. Even the Warhammer room got some speakers up and been microphones and guitars and jamming in here. And then the other thing that I've been getting into is working on becoming a talent agent. I've been getting a lot of I've been doing event management for my friends as there's some busy folks, and as these different events have been coming through, I've been having a select few people be filtering them to me as I negotiate the deals, try to get lock in the monies and the artist, and then taking a commission off the top for the booking work. So I've been collecting artist fire spinners, jugglers, acrobats, yoga folks, and circus performers and musicians to be able to filter to some nice paying gigs with some professional clients. So that's been my recent activities in entrepreneur land. It's been a good time.
Sweet stuff.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So what's really new in 40K right now, man? I kind of feel stagnant.
Yeah.
After these nights dropped, it's just all this AOS has clogged up my 40K love.
Yeah, well, they got new Age of Sigmar cards, they got AOS models, and then they got freaking kill teams. So after nights, it's been more side games than it has been 40K related, I'd say.
Yeah, and then we're waiting for ATC, and
Yep.
I'm unfortunately not going to be able to make it because it's kind of difficult to get 5 team members to make it,
Right.
especially if you're all traveling from different states.
Is there a singles championship, or is it all team, period?
It's all team.
Oh, wow. It's just straight up. You got a 5-man team, and that's what the event is.
Yeah.
I haven't checked it out too much. That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm rooting for the Planet Chaos guys.
Nice. Doing some long travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, we got to, it's probably, the power of email strong in 2018. It's probably just a few emails away to be able to potentially get a streamed setup going on. I imagine that there's also like a desire for them to collect, but at the same time, there might also be a desire to help push and promote, and versus just counting on Warhammer TV, to have a secondary for higher stream table, especially with a nice presentation. I don't know. I'm just talking about like outreaching to these places like ATC and being like, yo, bring Warp Charge Gaming out,
Let me come film.
Yes. That'd be cool. I haven't investigated this. I mean, hell, we're not even a year into our life here with Warp Charge Gaming. Oh, what's up, Chris?
Oh, it's Chris.
He's probably still going to be jumping on the old... Hi, Chris. What's up, dude? How you doing? We got Chris on Discord. No, here you go. Pull him in. There you go, bud.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, I dragged you into the old admin chat.
Oh, how did I miss y'all?
Oh.
Yo. How you doing, man?
Guys doing?
Gravy, dude. We're just talking about ATC, talking about Nova, talking about what's new in 40K. We were kind of summarizing here that, it's been like after the Knights drop, and then they teased us with that, Space Wolves, Orcs, and Gene Stealers are on the horizon, but then they drop on us kill teams, new AOS models, and new Shadespire cards are like the...
Oh, yeah, the leader cards, those are cool, man.
Yeah, leader based. I like the one. There's one that for Shadespire where like if your war leader,
I saw that. That one's broken. It's like way too much glory for what it is. That's gonna get nerfed.
I love the idea that like you basically just sacrifice all your guys to win. It is pretty fun. I'm not opposed to that. But yeah, not much news otherwise in 40K land. We're just basically kind of on the precipice here waiting for what's going to happen next. We're waiting for ATC results. We're talking about how that's like a 5-man team only type situation and not really like a individual championship. I assume there's other games that are rocked there as well, though, yeah?
Yeah, I believe there is.
Yeah.
Also, unrelated to what you guys have discussed, but at any point, I definitely want to touch on the Horizon stuff for the.
Oh yeah, do you have a tracking number for that? Is it showing up soon?
He said it should all be printed by this Friday. So it's not actually sent because I know he had like a lot of stuff queued up as far as like what was getting printed.
All right, so that's tomorrow.
Should be going out, he said, tomorrow-ish. I'll double check with him. He's been saying in terms of like collaborative stuff, anything we do, he has no problem like routing his Twitch stream to watch James. That way he can put up his Twitch stream as well.
Oh, for like when I'm painting it?
When you're painting it. And I mean, he mentioned for Horizon 3D winners. So not only is he giving us some bonus goodies in with the Tyranid terrain, but he wants us to do, he thought it would be cool, and I figured especially for free content. Prints, because it's going to be in bigger printers, is going to be in less fragmented 3D pieces. As a result, he wants to send us the bigger pieces that are one piece for free.
Sweet.
Give us a trial run and be like, you know, like you had the old ones that are fragmented parts now, like compared to the new ones, that, you know, they should be cleaner, less mold lines, etc.
Sounds great.
Really hyped on this terrain.
I got it pulled up on the screen right now, man. This bioterrain master set. I think currently right now he was it's like 40% off right now with the deal it's at. Or did
it was already 40% off, and so like you can get it for something like $175 currently off of his eBay store. But then he threw us a little bit of a promo as well off the top of that.
Yeah. I think it's showing its full retail on the website. It's at $287 on his website. Which
website was down. So honestly, if it's back up, maybe the promo is over for all I know.
Yeah. It is fantastic. Like by the looks of it, it looks absolutely worth it. I'm excited to see what it's all about when it's said and done.
So Chris, what colors are you envisioning on this thing?
Some pictures of my game mat, or at least I'll show you like, you know, the one I ordered. I would like it to kind of coordinate with the Tyranid game mat, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you are free to let your imagination run wild.
Because I'm just seeing like reddish purples and like green to neon yellows.
But I mean, just off the description, I mean, I have red in my color scheme. The deep purples are always really cool, and I mean, even off of some of the ones I've seen painted, like there's a few things that look kind of more viney. I mean, the neon greens on stuff like that would be glorious, I'm sure.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like the carapace being all the green and the underside being all the reds and purples.
Reds and purples, I like it.
It'd be so gross and sexy.
That I mean,
excited.
You know, technically that's kind of a little bit of 40k news is with the release of the kill teams. You know, there's a whole bunch of terrain like packages.
Oh yes,
coming out.
that terrain is sick. That is one thing I am excited about for kill team. Those new buildings are beautiful, and the paint jobs they have on those buildings are way better than paint jobs I've seen them do in the past for terrain.
The new terrain set they're putting out, it reminds me of I forget the manufacturer. I have some of their terrain. But like the traditional like chapel Gothic stuff that I've seen.
It's like a cathedral.
Yeah, it looks like that, except like the Games Workshop version, which obviously has more detail and more bells and whistles. So like, I am really excited. Now I feel like it's almost like a jab at whatever other company it is, to be like, yo, like we have this terrain, like
come fight me. It's super it's super churchy looking. Like one of the pieces was like so cathedraly. Like they love like that Gothic. We're fighting in ruined churches type scenario.
Yeah.
I mean,
the church is where it brings demons out.
Yeah, there you go. Worshiping the emperor. Man, dude, I wish that we would have recorded, Chris, that long-ass conversation when we were driving back from Adepticon. Like, Chris broke down the 40k lore for me, dude.
Oh, yeah. I mean, George wanted a crash course in 40k fluff, and I was basically like, well, I can't promise I'm going to get everything right, but dude, this is what I know.
We went from the dawn of time, dude. It was nuts.
The dawn of time where monkeys come from?
Like, I didn't know until, like, Chris told me about how, like, the emperor didn't want anyone to worship him, and, like, that was, like, about, like, how, like, some things went to shit is that, like, I guess, like, that's how some of the dudes got tricked is they started kind of worshiping idols and stuff, right?
Lorgar, one of his Primarchs, actually wrote kind of like a Bible that, like, venerated the emperor. And, like, the emperor was, like, not about it. He was like, yo, like, you can't be doing this nonsense. Like, this is bad. Like, this is how we get demons. Well, he didn't say that because he wanted to keep everyone in the dark.
But that's how you get demons.
Yeah.
Right, that is how you get demons.
Yeah. I just thought it was crazy, like how they, they kind of start like the whole intermix of like worshiping false idols and stuff like that, and how the emperor is like, no, stick to science, and like like bringing everybody together when with the Great Divide and shit. It was cool, man.
Preached secularism, which actually kind of, I think I was telling George, I mean, this I can say easily because Games Workshop's never going to address it. But like, there used to be more chaos gods, and there used to be a god called Malal, which was on top of the 4 chaos gods. He was like the anti-chaos god. Like, he was the chaos god of anti-chaos. So like, whenever one chaos god was getting the upper hand, he would take a side against them.
Okay.
That was kind of his whole MO. I mean, he was supposed to be like by himself, like more powerful than any of the 4 chaos gods. But like, what happened with Malal was, and actually there's a lot of theory on this because even the Mechanicum symbol looks like the old symbol that Malal's Marines used to wear.
Okay.
The half skull and half like black skull.
He had Marines?
Yeah. He had literally like, a Chaos Legion at one point of Marines, like way, way back early in 40k. And essentially what happened is Games Workshop lost the writer, like the writer that did all the Malal fluff left. And the way he had his contract set up, he basically told Games Workshop, you can't use any of my intellectual property. He's like the only one who successfully got away with it.
Oh, wow.
Malal just kind of like was in this weird place where Games Workshop just stopped talking about him and just never really talked about him ever again.
Interesting.
I bring him up because there was a theory that the Emperor is actually Malal in disguise because, like the anti of Chaos Gods would be like, hey, preach science, there are no gods.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a trip to hear the individual stories, and it also put a lot more perspective in my mind of like realizing that how the gene seed kind of evolved for each. It made me like the Marines more individually.
Even
like the Thousand Sons getting lost out there in the warp, and Magnus the Red like being with the how like he like left orphaned or whatever. Like all these guys get spread all over the galaxy. This shit's cool, dude.
And I mean, this is one of the things a lot of people don't really like think about in the games, but like the apothecaries that you field on the field, their job is literally, because the gene seed for each Space Marine is so valuable, they go to all the corpses of Marines and cut the gene seed out so it can be reused, because it's considered like almost a sin to like lose it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, we need this genetic material to make more Marines. To lose it is just terrible for us, especially because we got all stupid in terms of technology and don't know how to make more.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, what's up, Corey? Corey from Dark Bunny Creative. He was hanging out the old Battle in the Warp there. Good bud. Thank you, Corey. Says he's enjoying the chat so far.
I saw 40K.
Go ahead, bro.
Was featured on Long War. One of them played Juice actually almost immediately after our tournament, if I remember right. It was a cool battle report. It was like Harlequins and something else.
Oh, nice. Might have been Phil then. Yeah, Phil is the battle that we had, the Harlequin Space Wolf battle. Again, I think the nice thumbnails really help there, James, on the even if they're live ones. But man, that video has been getting a lot of. It was a great battle, and Corey was rolling ridiculously hot, so there was a lot of hilarity, and it's been getting a lot of nice comments. There was even one of our fans, Steve. He was commenting at like different hour marks, and that was something else that I need to do as homework, dude. Is I really need to go through these videos and put in the descriptions how you can put the timestamp for YouTube and it'll jump you right to that part of the video. That definitely would enhance our video, well, especially with these longer live shows, versus editing these things to ungodly amounts. We could at least like preview back, because like in the live Battle in the Warp coverage, there's a point where as I was editing the video today, there's a point where I was like, and coming soon there'll be a Battlegrounds video that you can see us in collaboration. I do the pitch of how we can help get people models, and like now I can go back to that timestamp and put in the video that I made for that. All these things where we allude to something coming. We could, just like in this live talk show, we talked about, okay, next week we'll have out the mission packets. Now I can put in that timestamp and put the link, So just looking at ways we can enhance the viewer experience out there.
Yeah.
I mean, especially like if we you know, have a accurate rundown of like our topics discussed, you know, like it'll be awesome. Like that kind of gives, you know, like the minutes to be like, oh, like
Yes.
we talked about this and this and this.
Yes, that's great homework for like what could I do to make some enhancements to Warp Charge Gaming? Well, we could put in some timestamps. I got some funny footage of you, Chris. I was showing you today in the Facebook thread there. Tyranids defeated Tyranids. That shit was funny.
It was, you know, I mean, all I'm saying is, you know, I mean, it was all around. The worst beating I got at our own tournament was a 4-point margin, and that was from one of the Dark Bunny guys.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dark Bunny guys.
That was Corey who just commented.
You got me game one. You got me game one. And then that game two, I was so angry at myself. All I had to do, my Rippers were in close combat with a Knight, not getting swung at. If I would have piled in, denied my opponent a point, but gotten a point.
What were you doing? My favorite part is in the edit, like you're just like, like fingers like wagging like crazy, and you got the glint in your eye, and then like I focus up the camera onto the wall, and I watch you on the back end like doing it on the projector. It was pretty cool. Which I thought was awesome. One of my favorite touches. You know, I just love technology. I loved having a sound system with some sweet beats playing. I loved having a microphone where, like, when the TO's talking, they're projected over a loud system. I love the live thread being projected on the wall with a projected timer.
Cool.
Right? So much vibe. A stage with a top table. It's not just like another table amongst. It's like kind of glorified. You know, it was pretty fucking cool, dude.
Dude, the stage lights look so cool. Like, not being at the event and seeing the stage lights, I was like, that's dope.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, we were like almost like a weird like 40k like Harlequin tent. Like it was just like this bizarre spectacle. I was like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah, and like also the stage is like completely blacked out as well. So it makes on camera just to make it look like you're floating in space a little bit. And, you know, like you turn the camera to where the rest of the venue is, and it's like, oh, now they're not outside of that little wormhole, you know? It's pretty tight.
This is unrelated to the event, but you discussed new models and kill teams. Did you guys mention that there's a new Gene Stealer dude who has 2 pistols? He's like a Gene Stealer called Cypher because he's amazing.
Very briefly, with nowhere near as much excitement as you just expressed.
Oh my god!
Do you think, Chris, that the you know, we were talking earlier how there was those leaks of like, oh, there's new models, like we saw the Gene Stealer models and whatnot, but they were really just the kill team leaks and not really like a codex leak.
I agree. Yeah.
Well,
I think, okay, so the Aberrants are probably going to be in Kill Team. They really needed models because the only place you could get them was from Deathwatch Overkill. So literally to get 4 of those models, you would have had to spend, you know, upside of 75 to 150 bucks.
Yeah.
And get a bunch of models with them. So they really needed new models. They do have new weapons options in there, which seems kind of cool. Like one of them is just holding a traffic sign, which is not a current weapon. I want to hold a traffic sign. It seems like a cool thing to do is beat somebody to death with a traffic sign instead of a sledgehammer or, you know, a mining pick. I like the Gene Stealer cult weapons.
The one I like is the giant with his little like baby like bring your kid to work day like model. Like he's super cool. Like I want him just to like garglefy him.
I need to find these. What's the easy way?
At some point, the Deathwatch Overkill Aberrants, but even the heads, like the level of detail is crazy different. Overkill Aberrants.
Yeah, I was seeing if on the community page it showed any of the new stuff. They were
Send
talking,
a link.
There was some, I was mentioning earlier, the damn Space Wolves dudes. They're like, somebody was like, the lack of beards is unnerving. These Space Wolves.
Oh, that's a good point. I never thought about that.
Come on, man. All right, let's see if I can jump over to that. I want to see that the one that James was just talking about with like the little kid thing.
He's so cool.
The one I put right now in Facebook is the old models. So like they look cool. But they are certainly not the newest ones. Let me look up the brand new ones because the level of detail is just shockingly different. Like it's so satisfying to see a full kit come out of this.
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, my internet's being kind of shoddy because
You're a full kit.
Yeah.
James, what's going on in your 40K realm, your painting table? Any news there? I know it's been a busy 4th of July weekend type scenario.
Just got some all talk to do, and then going to be working on your display board and painting Chris's terrain.
Oh my God.
I'm
so excited.
My stuff has been set off to the side. We're still doing Wednesday night's Shadespire. We had a miss last night because 4th of July, obviously.
Right.
But we're going to get back on that. So we have the orcs still to finish, and then we have the other factions. So that's always going to be Wednesday night. As far as my own army, though, I may be doing Sloppity because there is a tournament that I may go to on the 28th. The 21st, I'm going to a birthday party tournament. It's going to be about 20 dudes at a bar playing $20 a head, just playing for cash.
Yeah.
So that's just going to be fun. A bunch of just friendly people. Everyone knows everybody, so there's no weird awkwardness. It's just going to be having a great time. It's not ITC, so no one's going to be battling for points. It's really going to be just battling to win and have fun.
Cool.
Yeah, but after that following weekend, my little one and the wifey are going to visit her brother in Michigan. So I will have the home to myself. So I'm going to be traveling probably to a tournament. And the only tournament I know of right now does not allow Forge World, and which is no big deal to me. But right now I do use a Leviathan, and I find it's just a fun unit to use. And if I'm not allowed to bring him, I have to adjust my points a little bit. So I might be painting up a Sloppity Bile Piper and maybe 2 more Noise Marines.
I wonder how you get a weird vendetta where you're no Forge World. That's kind of a little bit unheard of in today's world.
Yeah, no, I'm really surprised by it. But it's the only tournament I know of on that date. I'm kind of hoping another tournament pops up so I don't have to interrupt my other painting to paint something for myself.
Yeah.
But
Tio's traumatized by pylons.
Yeah.
By all means, if you need to, man, paint your stuff ahead of my terrain because it's terrain, man. I mean, I want it very badly.
Fuck off. I'm going to paint your terrain, and I'm going to play a game on it before you get it.
Ow!
Okay. You know what, man?
You don't have a choice. This is what's happening. I'm going to send you footage of Demon Princes just pissing all over it.
Oh, man.
But I'm really looking forward to that terrain. I love getting excited about projects. Painting my own stuff's really cool, but I don't make any money, and I'm not making anyone else happy. Because I win Best Painted a lot. If I don't place at an event, I'm gonna win Best Painted. And I'm not just to be cocky, it's just I put a lot of detail into every little model of mine because they're my unique model. So each one's at a display level. Besides my cultists, those are quick painted just because they're cultists. But winning Best Painted doesn't enjoy getting it over and over again. I want to place and stuff. Where painting for other people and having them have great models and getting notoriety for their models is kind of cool.
Or where I threw up a link that has the new Gene Stealer cult stuff on there, and you can see the aberrants. I mean, they have new heads, new stuff, but it's in the Facebook chat. But I digress. I mean, yeah, dude. That's it's part of the reason. Not exactly the same, but it's part of the reason why I like doing some commission work on the side. With Georgia Squiggith and other projects that are really fun. I get to paint stuff that I normally never get to paint, and I pretty much only take on jobs that are cool pieces. I've painted the pylon and the gargantuan Squiggith and other stuff. But it's oh, I've gotten to paint some of the coolest models that each army has, which is just awesome.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man.
Virginia Beach. Yo, that's super close.
Yeah, dang. I'm pulling up the here's that model that you were talking about, James. That thing's dope.
Dude,
David Penfold from
I just want to nergify that and use a poxwalker.
Yeah, it's sweet. So
Sure, David.
Go ahead, Chris, because I didn't realize that you're saying, oh, geez, did I just kill the Google? I did. Oh, God.
I digress. But yeah, David, if you want to go to Lynchburg, I think on the 24th, there is a tournament that is hosted by some of our local friends where you can win a Lord of War. One of the Standard Games Workshop ones. 21st, I will probably be there with Connor from our Warp Charge guys, you know? Because I want a Gene Stealer Cult Baneblade. Even if they write it out of the Codex, I'm going to freaking build one. I don't care.
Wow. Dude, put like a servo in the turret of the tank so that you can use like your phone and Bluetooth it and make it turn.
That'd be really cool, yeah.
Dude, I follow this dude. His name's like passing my mind right now, but I follow him on Facebook and other social media, and he's building a Warlord Titan, and he's engineered servos inside of the guns on the shoulders, the head. So like through a tablet, he's made an app where he can turn them all, and it's so sick.
Dope. Trying to jump back over to the stream here. So we're saying that David lives in VA Beach. That's crazy.
Play David, back when Williamsburg had Groovy Geckos, I lived in Williamsburg, so I actually played very close to you at one point.
Dude, yeah. David needs to go to the doubles tournament.
Yeah, no kidding. If you're that close, dog, you got to come up to the Battle on the Warp. If you didn't know, Chris, earlier in the conversation, we realized that David is actually with Team Warhammered, who was at Nova and at Adepticon.
I mean, they took, I forget what the award is called, but they took the Warlord Killer at Adepticon, didn't they?
They did win some prizes there. I think I even saw a Facebook post with several nice bling blangs going on. But yeah,
and I mean,
get on.
And we have one of our friends is constantly chasing their Necron player.
Yeah, we've already brought it up.
Yeah, we mentioned Jessica. But yo, dude, like, I got an extra spot. Like, you can totally, whenever we do these events, I definitely kind of open up the house for kind of a 40K hotel for the homies. So just hit me up, man. I'd love for you to come by and we got this team event on August 12th. Shadespire is going down July 28th. The Win a Warlord tournament is July 21st at Dragonfire Games. That only has 12 slots, so you'll want to hit them up early. Yeah,
what?
Yeah.
12-man tournament?
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
yeah.
Super sparse.
It is. Yeah. It is small, man. It's small, and I mean, that kind of puzzles me because I feel like, especially George, you went to the Shadespire tournament. You've seen the new shop. That's a bigger shop.
It's
kind of surprised.
Not huge. They don't have a ton of terrain up in there either. But hey, they can only fit so much space, I guess,
Absolutely. But I mean, there's good prize support, and I am going to go have a good time. I mean, I've always had a good time out there. Generally, me and some of the guys that are locals will have a few beers,
Yeah, there's good peeps out there at in Lynchburg.
Yeah. Also, the Chinese place right across the street, which is like 30 feet from the game store. Very good food for very cheap.
Your mom makes good food for real cheap.
Well,
I'm her son. She makes it for free.
There has been some questionable animals used in the meat at the Chinese spot, but.
Listen, man, I mean, we play Warhammer. PETA doesn't have anything on us. We put fur on our space wolves, Okay. I mean, I don't care. It all dies and bleeds. We eat it.
Oh, my God. I was, totally random note. We're well past an hour now, but I was watching a video on how they were creating meat in labs. And by 2019, we might be eating lab meat. I'm down with that.
Lab meat.
They've been trying for a while to get that right. I remember even there's like a Japanese restaurant actually makes meat out of like processed sewage, which sounds horrible.
What?
This is a real thing.
You can stop.
I mean that's kind of like what tofu is, anyways, right? They should like rot that shit.
All right, you guys stop. Everyone here stop.
All right, so
it's like a luxury restaurant. Like people pay like ridiculous per plate.
No.
Yeah. Well, we've hit the old hour and 15 here. It's been a great session. To just give a final recap, I'll blow through some things. If you haven't signed up for the fan giveaway, get the hell on it. Okay? Get ready for the Space Wolves Codex.
It's free.
It's free.
You don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah, if you already subscribed to the channel,
I don't
you're
think
just
people
like,
realize that because
Yeah.
like it's free.
dude.
Like we get tracking on all this stuff, so like we see the impressions, and there are literally some people who click on it and don't sign up.
Yeah,
This don't make sense to me.
it's like,
It's
what are you
free.
missing?
I
Yeah,
literally.
We don't steal any information. We don't sell it to anybody. We don't even profit on your information. We are literally trying to provide value to a community where we can have a place to be forever.
Listen to this man. Listen to this man. Get signed up. God damn it. What do you think, Chris? Did you mention something?
Oh, I mean, some of my coworkers / employees have started friending me on Facebook, and a few of them have seen some of our Warp Charge gaming stuff. And I had 2 of them today ask me if I was a pro gamer. I was like, no. I was like, I am a Dungeons and Dragons kind of gamer, but look us up, give us a like. I know the models are cool. Even if you don't play Warhammer, model. Maybe that's how you'll start the hobby, damn it.
Right.
Dude, everyone should play tabletop gaming over like video gaming, in my opinion.
Totally.
Because there's that social contract that you just cannot replace. Like, there's nothing wrong with gaming on like a computer or playing online with other people, but that social contract of like sitting there, it's almost like pool for nerds. Like when you sit there and play at the bar and play a couple games of pool, like random people you like never talked to before, but you get a game going, have a couple drinks, you end up having a great time.
Yeah.
With Warhammer, it's the same thing, but like on an intellectual like nerd level, and anyone can get into it. It's just about having that open mind to be like, hey, I'll throw some dice.
Totally.
Going on that same train of thought, if 40k has taught us nothing, it's that someday humanity will forget how technology works. So when we don't have computers and video games anymore, there will still be 40k.
Did talk about it. You know what? I and my crew, we have a lot of post-apocalyptic talk, and I would always be the guy that said I was concerned about electricity because being a lot of that, the music I do involves electricity, computers, and things of that nature. I would be a little lost without such things. But that's what I can appreciate about 40k is that shit's analog, and you can game without electricity. You can do it in candlelight, dude. So I'm talking about. So that definitely bodes well for when technology comes to eat us. Then we can play a game about technology eating each other. But
on that note, like, subscribe.
Yeah, we're gonna sign
do all
out
that
here.
fun
But
stuff.
there's still lots of
Share, spread the
Model
love, share.
online while you can, while we still have technology. Sign up for the giveaway.
Hit us up at admin@warpchargegaming.com
The
and we will
mid-players creeping
hunt
everyone
you
out.
down some gear. Come to the event August 12th, Battle in the Warp doubles. It's gonna be amazing. We're gonna play the Nova Trios packet, but dumbed down to fit our event. Give us some practice for it. There's a Shadespire tournament at Battlegrounds July 28th. And that's pretty much what's going down. Take this little outro video and we'll see you next time.
Fun. Seriously.